you're live. Now it has seconds on there. Okay. All right, it's working out. Interesting sounds at night. Well, I'm in town again because I needed to post and do all that. A lot of things are happening. I think that certain people are going to be traveling and stuff now, so as well. And I'm like, okay, and people have already traveled. It's just that there's more and more coming to everything. So when I make this move, I'm not going to be sure of many things until I can get the hang of like the area of where to find certain things, and probably take a little bit with everything, but I don't freaking know. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down there because I traveled before, so all I gotta do is travel down there. I got the money to last the winter, because it's just for food and water. It's not like I have to pay for any bills. During the day I'd be outside. During the night, I'm just gonna sleep in my trailer. You know what I mean? Until I can build something for that, as long as I get the land. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, I don't really want to build on anything. You know what I mean? On that measure, until I can get the land. So, it's just that when I'm looking for these acres of land for Kentucky, there's always way more than an acre, but sometimes an acre already has a property. And then you type in farmland, but there's just several acres for farmland, not just 1 acre. You know, I wonder if you can buy off of government land. You know what I mean? Somewhere like kind of off, you know, a ways in the. But you'd have to talk to people, do all the other stuff. You know what I mean? I have know nothing about really, to be totally honest. But I mean, there's people that help that, but then you got to pay for the help. It's just like this world's so. I don't know if it had it so much simpler where we didn't need to say pay or work up for something that we know how to do ourselves. It's just because of the law and the permissions to do things. That's not what bothers me. I mean, I'll go through and do whatever, you know what I mean? It's just that I really got to get this straight when it comes to just like the realistic standpoint is I'm going to get a bike too. And that bike, every week I'll get, food from the town and post. So because I need that for other income to, save up to say pay off the land too that I have, which that's not a big deal. Like for taxes wise, at the end of the year, it shouldn't come to more than 500 or anything like that, or for 1 acre. I don't really immerse myself into knowing a lot about these rules and laws just because I already have the rules and laws in my head. Like why would I have to, just because they changed so many things, you know what I mean? Because back then it was more like the primal animal already knew these instincts within themselves to do them. Now we have to ask permission and almost like fight our way to getting these things if we don't have that, which what I wasn't such the way I am to actually put your connection is unstable. Okay. I wonder if anybody's even knows. Okay. 4 seconds. There you go. I don't know why I did that. See what I mean? I just got to think about things. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know what I really learned is that we gotta stop in the middle conversation, and just really think about things like how we think by ourselves and giving ourselves time And we do this all the time. And just because when we're pressured in a situation, any situation, it should be more of a chillaxed thing where progress can be made. On these ultimatums getting push this way, push that way. That's how nothing can get figured out to the surface of everybody's understanding, because we have an overactive mind. We're actually developed for a lot more than what we can hold. That's why we have a tough time with everybody's idea, plus with everything around. Just say if we're at a meeting and let's say 10 people, the way that it's orchestrated through can be fine. It's just that sometimes it's just like the whole meeting in itself will have to be agreed upon of what mainly gets talked about, right? Or something, because of the fact of too much, something out of the degree wouldn't fixate on one thing getting done. And then as long as that could be fully, you know what I mean? So as long as we take this time in our reality to, take these little fragments that we usually say for a couple seconds and then move on from, right? Take a fragment, look at it for, say, not an hour, but just say a really long time. You'll start to see different things inside of that really you have to spend a lot of time thinking about. And everybody says, don't overthink, don't do this, don't do that. But part of our own processes in life that we physically do or enjoy have to come how we perceive them inside of our mind. And the reflection is a very good basis, but at the same time, living and co-creating from that's good. But sometimes when you feel stuck, that's when you do the most thinking. But how come is it when it's like this? It's because when something isn't working, it's like another aspect coming to the foreground you might not have seen before, but since the energy is there and the certain way of your life, the butterfly effect, how it run through, and how you just looked at a certain way into that at that time period, triggered some of these things, Okay, your connection is unstable. Please, we are reconnecting. Yeah. I'm at the library, so it should have pretty good connection. So the next live video I do, I want to kind of reach out, try to, join the live with somebody else, and I don't know how to do that. See, exit, stream, send feedback. I wouldn't really know how to join up, really. There's other buttons to press. Okay. This is the first time I've done this, really, because I've been procrastinating some things that I have in my mind to do, but I have so much other shit that I've been gifted with too at the same time. It is only I could do a lot of stuff, but then a lot of stuff would take up the time of my day in general. So all these things that you manifest, to post them, it takes time to do that. It takes time. Everything does take time. But that's why when we reach a certain stage where this gets a little bit closer and people start coming together and using that energy together, working together as a unified field, not just around, but physically coming together to make the connection stronger. Trust me, we are the being that we're connected with. So that's why when I go into nature and get that strong impact, I'm actually working with the energy in itself, and be connected with that consciousness is key. We can't be separate from it anymore, because we used to think, pushing things aside because we don't want everybody to look at you like you're the weird one, to call you names or this and that because you're doing something that would guilt trip you in the day, just say 10 years ago. Everybody's, I could see everybody's thing. At the same time, we all know that we're living in a world that's already fixated for us. It's already kind of shaped for us to be in the way it is. And I see people, trying to accept it, but they just learn to accept it after a while. So that's the bad part, because It only gets worse accepting something that's a bad foundation. Because if we, and there's still people that complain through, of what's going on, and that's totally valid. And, we shouldn't tell them people not to complain, because ultimately, if they don't complain about something that's really going bad, there's something wrong too there. But all I'm saying is that most of our energy, most of our time should be going for what can fix it, what can help. What are we, really living for at the end of the day? It is our family. It is the people in your life that it's still going. Something just popped up. Yeah. How do you even know how many people are viewing it? Oh, the views would be right there and the likes. So yeah, that's people. So all of what we are to be is seriously like really easy to comprehend. It's just like when we're in a free state. So we see so many times. It might have been a short amount of time in your life. It might have been a long time in your life where you had a free state of mind, and that none of them weird thoughts got in there, nothing like that. So we realize these aspects. So when we're living in a reality, it's unstable. You got to or whatever. It keeps on saying that. But the stableness within our being, yeah, the stableness is going to be amplified when we have the security of others having the back for its back. Because literally, what's having our back right now, or the generation's back? So that's like my move. That's what I'm thinking about every day. Like this is not like as secure as we think it is until we make that secure ourselves together to make that happen. So it's like how we're kind of forced to that abide by that rule set for the characteristic of this world's invested into that layout itself, that we cannot use so much of our energy or time to put ourselves in that place and make it stay or make it last. So what I'm saying is that you might go to that party or that event or that thing pulls you back right to square one, but you go to the same house, you go to the same, that little group. It should be a bigger unified group with the family of, whatever we're in, but that should be what we're living with and communing with all together. Because these beings now that are opened up to the fact and that are free spirited, they need to, they're in a societal structure like that, which has all these free beings that have the capability of not doing wrong, shoulders with that, but then also, you know what I mean? Like the children, once they get together in like more mass, the children playing, it tends to get way more like free and not restrictive. Like how when you're alone, you're just thinking about yourself. It's so isolated and restrictive, rather than when you're around a lot of people. It kind of just makes it right. So if that was so if we're all waking up with the likeness of everybody else and got to know that, it would strengthen that in itself. And that's basically what we're all longing to do, because to be totally honest, they're all going on these videos every day and doing that because they like to be in that, but that itself could be this whole world to be in of like what that is. So then there wouldn't be any lack. But the thing is that we wouldn't do these little short conversations because we will have the time. We set a priority straight and just have the need first for the living. That's all we want, is to make a living, right? That's all it's for, the living. So we only put extra energy into that living thing, and after that we get all the extra time to put it into more things of our wants, but then at the same time, part of our wants is the social interaction with the things that are beneficial with the social interaction. So anything that's co-created in between it. So it's like, all these shirts, all these, other things that we have in our society, all these toys, all these different types of gadgets for cleaning our ears and everything else. You see all the products, like, but in a way where we're only doing it right, like not having any plastic in it, not having things cheap, not meant to last. Everything's going to be meant to last, or reused to the point that they don't have to do that, and they'll have ways of knowing how to do such things. It won't last, say, forever, like a shovel and a handle or whatever. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is it's not going to be this go, destroy, like destroy a house, build a new one, destroy a house, new one. When these houses are built in the future time, when this gets going, they'll be modified a little differently and better, but they'll just be meant to last. So you're not going to be building any houses, mankind. You won't need to build like houses after houses. Like, what is the use of our time and our energy? You know what I mean? What are we going to really be invested in? Because like it's taking time out of other people's lives, as well as we got to think of this as like, what is our need? And we can have this so much more efficiently, like, the robots and all this. So what we know, mankind doesn't even have to work when it gets to that. But can't you see how like struggling it is right now for this whole planet and transition for this? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It has to be aligned in a way where we can like totally take the inside of our intention just to be our intention and have it done. And then so many other things will happen because you wait for that bill to friggin' pass. You keep on every weekend, going to live your weekend when the weekend's all you have to live because you live in the weekdays. You know what I mean? And I know what that's like. I've been doing that, and I'm humble to the fact now because I'm a little bit more evolved. So I feel more fulfilled and less lax. So that's why it wasn't that. But at the same time, my soul knows it, and that's why it bite back so hard. When I realized that fact again, like to myself, and then it just really hit me, just a thing. You know what I mean? It really is. It's like one day thing. I'll already be down there. It'd be, and then I'll start from there. Then my mind's in there. My mind's orchestrating from there, right? Because if I get past the step way too deep, I'll never even make that step. See what I mean? So that's why that's how I live now. It's hard for this big transition because it's something that I'm relying on other people. You know what I mean? Because I don't have my license just to do that one thing. And then after that one thing, I'll have a bike. I'll have, you know what I mean, other tools with me that I bought to do that. So, and then once I get that established, and then if more people that know ever want to, group up, then you buy more land, then you do more of that, and then then it won't need to be taxed. It's our own thing that can't be manipulated or controlled, because that's how things get messed up. Because our intention and our will, it ultimately does carry this world. The presidents of the United States, all your leaders, everything that's happening now, whatever the past is based off of, is the past or the thing that they're co-created in. To believe in it gets to the stage of that they don't even know what or who or why or when. Because when they're born and get into all this, they're just going along with the mix of whatever's being done. So that's why the free intention of like, well, no, it's true, and so many people know it, and that's why it's got to be done, because this game's not just a game. It's this is everybody's lives. This has been so long since mankind existed, right? And it's getting down to this point. And whoever's here to do something, that's when we got to do it. And if you feel like you're just here not to do anything, it's not meaning that you're useless or not doing anything. It just means that, it's kind of like, I don't freaking know. It's kind of like, hopefully this all goes good, because so many times in my life I thought things were going to happen. But a lot of things did happen, and a lot of things can happen. It's just that, sometimes I'm not doubting it. I'm not doubting all this, but I'm really honest in saying that I will have to find an alternative way to do it regardless, because like there has to be something, some type of luck, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to search for the land and stuff, like, and I can't find it, like something that would be just what I need, you know what I mean? Yeah, I got to do all that type of work for that, and it's just like, it's fine. I do this all day. Like I walk everywhere all day long. It's only 24 hours in a day, and all I'm going to be doing down there is 24 hours in a day, same as this. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody that I actually care about is on the internet anyway. Because, like, my family, I do care about, but it's like I look at them so differently now. I don't even like them. Everybody would be the purity that I would see on degrees of itself, but it's not always showing its face on the degrees of itself. It's like, or mostly, but is it has around us taking care, so many little things that they got going on, all these things taking place, see? And if kind of energy and direct it, because if it's being rushed to force something that has no, a lot of people don't think of their jobs after the day, and the people that enjoy doing what they do life, but just like I evolve myself, my guitar or anything else, I'll have that in a big aspect for like a couple years to do that, and I'll be dedicated, because I would be already manifesting or building that thing right now, that house thingy, and I don't want to do something here and then leave, and then it just be, you know what I mean. So that's that. A little bit update else, and team up, talk about something.